All right, so let's kick off our second Paladin, our Oath of Heroism. Chris, if you prefer Chris, or Joseph, or Jennings, or CJJ, would you please type exclamation point 1D100? It's a custom one that I built, Raven. I built it just for this, for what we do here. There is an Excel spreadsheet version of it on our Discord that you can download. It's not quite the same, but it's what I used before we moved to this new one. 53. So we have a male character. And, Raven, will you give me a D10 roll, please? Exclamation point 1D10. Here we go. I'm going to drink some hydrogen water. Well, I'm not exploding. It's a pinned message in our general chat channel, Raven. You roll a 5, another half-elf. This is getting ridiculous, everyone. All right. Hark, will you give me a D4 roll, please? It's good water. Odds, we also favor... Wow, we are fleeing the drow. Presuming we're a drow. Maybe we're not. I don't know if Nina's still around. Who's someone else I could pick on? Who all is out there? Fluffy Sheep? If you're out there, can you give me exclamation point 1D3? Chris is fine? Okay, Chris, I will remember that. Alright, it's not a drow. That'd be something, though. So we have another half-elf. This one is favoring a high-elf. Male, half-elf, favors human. Medium-sized. Only non-drow, and also, I mean, so everyone's an elf in a way. Let's see what other differences there are. Chris, would you give me another percentile roll, please? Let's find out this person's alignment. Boy, wouldn't that be something if we get an evil alignment? Everyone's neutral good so far that we've rolled. Oh, it's 1D100. 96. We have 3 good drow and a chaotic evil high elf. We already know that we're making a level 20 Paladin. And, Hark, will you give me a percentile roll? Will you give... Yeah, right? It's Bizarro World. Either that or the stories from the perspective of the drow who see the other elves as being evil. 47? Alright, it's all stat bumps. We're not taking feats. You know what? Let's mix up. Let's do this. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to do this one. You made the arch nemesis of the group. We'll see. Yeah, we're going to have to see how they're going to get along, right? Now, for a background. Fluffy Sheep, will you roll 1d20, please? Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that as a campaign concept, Hark. Oh, it's 1d20. We get a 3. Our background is a criminal. We have a criminal background. And let's see, who else is out there? Volvo, are you lurking? Volvo, if you're lurking, can you give me exclamation point 1d8? He might be away. Chris, can you type in exclamation point 1d8? Imagine where there was a splintering in Elven society, and the Drow went into the Underdark to flee from the High Elves. Oh, the High Elves in D&D can make excellent villains, because they seem to be detached and cruel. High Elves are like the space British of sci-fi genre. If someone talks with a British accent in sci-fi, you know they're evil. Alright, we rolled a 1, so we are criminal number 1. I don't know what that is, but we'll find out together. I'm going to generate real quick 2 personality traits, an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. 1, 7, 2, 4, 6. 1, 7, 2, 4, and 6. 6, pardon me. We already have our class and subclass. Now, there is a class feature. Well then, no, I understand, Raven. I hope you can overcome it. Raven, will you give me a D4 roll, please? So you will determine our fighting style as a paladin. The nice chunky bits of hydrogen are at the bottom. Stops on a 1. We are a defense paladin. All right, and now we have a half high elf. Whoop, that's regular high elf. Half high elf. Let's scroll to it. Where are you? There we go. Moon elf or sun elf descendant, that is high elf. Aloe-gen water to further confuse you as to what you're really drinking. Alright, no, it'd be cool if I was drinking aloe juice, unless you mean something differently. Alright, let's find out how old our character is. Hark, will you give me a percentile roll, please? So we have another young adult. This is so anime. Oh my goodness. This is such an anime adventure we're going on. Everyone is like, you know, teens and early 20s. They're gonna go save the world from the big bad evil guy. One of them is an angsty outsider, dark and brooding. We're making anime here, everyone, with this Unearthed Arcana. All right. I'm gonna roll a 7-sided die. He is 17 years old. He doesn't have to be a dark brooding edgelord. Don't worry about it, Chris. We haven't come up with his personality yet. I'm saying that in jest. All right, so height modifier. We're gonna add 2d8. 7 inches. So we have someone who finally broke. We have someone who finally broke the 4'11" barrier that the others are at. So he is 4 feet 15 inches tall. In other words, he's 5'3". We're gonna take that same 7 and multiply it by 2d4 times 4. So we're adding 28 pounds to a base weight of 100. So he's 128 pounds. Excellent. We have our placeholders. Now it's time to dig into the character and let's make the character, and then we'll explore the mechanics. So if y'all are playing along at home, you know that you should have your player's handbooks open to chapter 4, and we are going to go to the criminal background. All right, we get deception and stealth as our skill proficiencies. We get a tool proficiency in some kind of a gaming set. So if something comes to mind, what type of a gaming set would he be proficient in? We don't need to answer now. I mean, if you have something like, oh, totally a dice roller or something, sure. So a gaming set and thieves' tools. We get a crowbar, which probably he has named, because all good criminals name their most important tool in their arsenal here. So we have a crowbar, dark clothes with a hood, and a belt pouch containing 15 gupas. Now, our criminal specialty we rolled is number 1. He is a blackmailer. He blackmails people. Our background feature is a criminal contact. This is someone on the inside, someone that can fence our goods, someone that can feed us information. This is it's an excellent, flexible, reliable, if not criminal, source of, well, things. Master Mage, welcome. Good morning to you. Now, what about his personality? So, Chris, let's find out. It seems like we're actually, you know how we have Oathbreaker Paladins? I would almost say we have an anti-hero Heroism Oath Paladin. But let's find out. Let's explore his personality more. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit more here. It's a little bit loud, at least to me. All right, personality trait number 1. I always have a plan for what to do when things go wrong. So he's methodical here. He has backup. He has machinations for days. And number 7 is the best way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it. Never tell me the odds, kid. Cards, definitely cards. If a person he plays against loses and they refuse to give up the winnings, he'll blackmail and extort them. It might even be a little bit more serious than that to work in how we have his alignment versus this concept of a heroic paladin. Now, what about his ideal? His ideal is 2. Freedom. Chains are meant to be broken, as are those who would forge them. A dice pool? What do you mean, Raven? Now, what about his bond? There are knife-shaped cards. He can sneak into them. Yeah, there's a like a bladed card or something like that. His bond is 4. I will become the greatest thief that ever lived. If that doesn't sound like... I mean, not all heroes... not all heroes are what we might consider to be super heroic. They're not Superman. They're not even Batman. I mean, in this case, we have someone who's kind of a Batman, but probably more of like an Azrael figure. Ow! Why? Oh, an anti-hero hero. Yeah, there you... Gotcha, Raven. I'm sorry. I derped on that. And number 6 is going to be his flaw. Someone I love died because of a mistake I made. That will never happen again. This is probably explaining why he's so methodical, or why he has backups. And you know what? This could also be why his heart twisted. This could be a lover. This could be someone in his family. This could be a close friend. Maybe it was his first contact in the Thieves Guild. His mentor taught him everything, and whatever, he tripped a trap, the mentor stayed behind while the apprentice escaped, kind of a thing. So this could be this is both a bond and a flaw at the same time. We have someone who is very compulsive and methodical here. And while we can attribute methodology to a lawful alignment, this could very well be... I'm very quick thinking. I carry 3 plans in my mind at all times, something like that. Well, yeah, it's a good thing you don't have that flaw then. What happened in your in your game then, Master Mage? Can you give a recap on that? Or actually, no, wait. That's not. I read a bond. I'm like, yeah, this flaw is a bond. It's because I read bond number 6. Hey, you know what? This might still be something that can work in a different sense. But I got to go to the flaw section. Derp. It's like it's almost it's actually past 4 a.m. Ugh. So I'm sorry. An innocent person is in prison for a crime that I committed. I'm okay with that. Okay, kind of similar. So sorry about that derp on Mike where I put a bond instead of a flaw. But our flaw is an innocent person is in prison for a crime that I committed, and I'm okay with that. What did this person do to scorn us? To deserve our ire or our wrath? My goodness. Oh, what did the party think of that, Master Mage? Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry, that was my fault for putting a bond instead of the flaw. Still, this is close, and we can think in parallel ways to what we had before. An innocent person is in prison for a crime that I committed, and I'm okay with that. And you know what? That could feed into the whole blackmail thing. If I want to become the greatest thief that ever lived, what if we're trying to make a power play the Thieves Guild? And we got the old guild master arrested for something we did. Right? Sort of like the student beats the master. The master of the Thieves Guild is in jail. Guess I'm the best. Oh, gotcha, Master Mage. And you know what? If you can roleplay that tension, that conflict, but still be okay with it as friends, all the better. All right, so Chris, he's not super dark and brooding like what we were joshing about. So I always have a plan for what to do when things go wrong. The best way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it. Freedom. Chains are meant to be broken, as are those who would forge them. I will become the greatest thief that ever lived, and an innocent person is in prison for a crime that I committed, and I'm okay with that. Let's continue our build here with our Blackmailer, our kind of anti-hero heroic Paladin. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go to half-elf, because that's what we rolled. We certainly have a thematic adventure on our hands. Charisma goes up by 2, and 2 other ability scores increase by 1. You know, I dare say the 1 would go in strength and dex, as I think we're going to have a dexterous paladin here. With his lifestyle and the things that he's been through, I think he's very physical. His mental score of charisma is going to be, you know, more of a braggadocious thing. I don't know if he's necessarily intelligent or wise, but for sure he's a physical person who has, even his presence is almost just a physical manifestation. Let's see, 30, 15, 15, 0 for our speeds. We get 60 feet of dark vision. We do get Fey ancestry, so no magical sleep, and we have advantages versus being charmed. And then we are proficient in 2 skills of our choice. Let's see. Well, we already have deception and stealth. I plan for what to do when things go wrong. The best way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it. Freedom. Chains are meant to be broken, as are those who would forge them. I'll become the greatest thief that ever lived. I want to say investigation, to come up with plans and to represent quick thinking. And perception, maybe. Well, it would have to be perception. We're a blackmailer. We have to listen. We have to observe. You know, we got to get the dirt on people. So yeah, I think perception and investigation would be good for him, for what's happening here. I think you need either sleight of hand or intimidation. Sleight of hand as a card shark, intimidation to shake people down for money like blackmail. All right, I do like intimidation. And so something like that is actually we're gonna go to it here real quick, Chris. Let's see, we get common, elven, and one other, and that's all we get here.
I got enough for a getcha.
Hey, all right. I'll pull a gut. Oh, all the ideas are just growing. Oh, no. Okay, no. There's another seed. Grow, my beautiful idea. Grow. Let's go to classes and go to Paladin, because Paladins can choose intimidation. Oh, nice, Hark. They can get intimidation, and I think that's a good idea. And so, intimidation will come off of the Paladin skill list. Athletics, insight, medicine, persuasion, or religion. You know, I get what you're saying about sleight of hand, Chris. You know, it's something that he does, but as a blackmailer, you know, it's a skill that he has on the side, but I don't think that's how he's making his money, is by either playing cards or shooting dice. So I don't know about sleight of hand. Insight might be a good one for him, so he can read people's emotions, especially if he's trying to blackmail them, to get that level of people where you don't just hear what they say or see what they say, but you get their mood and how they react. Like, did you really get them with your blackmail? Are they starting to sweat? Are they going to enter into a bargain phase? You know, persuasion to sweet talk? Oh, like to go up to someone and be like, so, tell me the... I wonder, though, because we're going to have a high charisma character, Chris, if having that natural 5 would be enough. Because, again, if we're blackmailing... And I'm not saying this to fight you. This is our character. Like, this is our channel character, not mine. But to focus on, you know... To blackmail people, you have to understand their patterns, their behaviors. You have to know emotionally what can hit them hard. And so if we take the proficiency in insight and have a low wisdom... we'd be good at insight when we wouldn't normally, and we'll have a naturally good persuasion because of our high charisma base. Yeah, and Chris, this is absolutely interactive there. That's fine, Hark. We're administering the levels of Paladin to him. But I'll tell you what, Chris, where do we want to drop this? If we go persuasion, or do you want to go persuasion? Do you want to go insight or something else? Trust your feelings for this character. Raven says insight. Yeah, it's a mental game in that case. That works. And I think we're going to have a naturally high persuasion, so it's nothing to worry about. All right, we are a D10 hit die class, and at level 20, we get 20 of those suckers. We get proficiency with all armor and shields, as well as simple and martial weapons. No tool proficiencies. Saving throws are going to be wisdom and charisma. And we already have our skills. Our starting equipment, I'm not going to worry about it. You know, so here, if we go, you know, strength / thrown, it's going to be whatever. And then if we just have ranged, because I think both these are going to be pretty beefy for him. We're going to get then Divine Sense. We're going to get Lay on Hands and 100 points of it. That's a lot of healing and poison removal and disease removal. You want to talk about blackmailing someone? You send them a poisoned envelope, and you're like, oh, so let's talk, let's bargain. Well, you know, their throat's starting to close up. Yeah, so, you know, I think we could bargain in good faith here. I have some information that you were seen at the docks 2 nights ago. Help me. No, hold on now. And so, really, I have this information. I'm wondering what that's worth to you. What? Was that 200 gold pieces? No. 200, no, 300. Oh, 300 is what you're saying? Lay on hands, remove poison. 300 for that information? You know what? That's a lot of gold, carry some weight, you know, a knock to the head, and I bet I'll forget all about seeing you at the docks. It's a pleasure doing business with you. Hey, Kate, good morning to you. I think my next character is going to be a paladin, but whatever I'm making a character, my heart leans towards making another bard. Resist, make your paladin, Kate. You can definitely make a paladin that helps the party more if you like playing bard. I have an unhealthy obsession with bards. See, a paladin, look, a valor bard is a paladin, and so therefore a paladin is a bard. See, isn't that wonderful logic? And if you disagree with me, I'm just going to go, nuh-uh. Infallible. No, Kate, don't even multi-class into bard. Forget about bard. You play a paladin. Straight through. I mean, give yourself an instrument proficiency. Play the guitar as a paladin. Well, I'm glad you like the line of thinking, Chris. So we have lay on hands that we're probably going to use to extort. And our defense, we're even more defensive. That is going to make our level 15 ability even more disgustingly broken. Spell casting, we're not going to worry about that. Not yet. Divine health, you know what that means? Divine health. We're immune to disease. We can actually stake out in the sewers. We can get in all the sloppy, gross places to spy on people and get the dirt we need to be a blackmailer because our bodies will just fight that disease. Sacred Oath, we're going to worry about that in just a little bit here. We're going to get an extra attack. An aura of protection. And you know what? You can charge people for protection. Stick close to me and I'll make sure nothing goes wrong. Criminal and Paladin? You don't think it's a protection racket? You know, it'd be a shame if you left my side. Aura of Courage. You know, you're making me nervous, and if you're making me nervous, I can't consider you an ally for mechanical purposes of this ability. And it'd be a real shame if that had to happen. Exactly. Yeah, you can pass diseases on to other people, so we can, you know, we can have, you know, whatever, a disease pill in our mouth and go in for that, oh, that sultry kiss. And then, you know, tell the Duchess that, oh, your impropriety has caused you to contract, you know, the shimmy shakes. And, well, I guess I'll have to go tell the doctor how you got the shimmy shakes. You kiss very well, but I'm sure that the Duke wouldn't like to hear about that, huh? Or of protection, or of courage. We have improved divine smite. And cleansing touch. You can use your action to end one spell on yourself or one willing creature that you touch. Man, this guy's running a racket. Oh my gosh. So no wonder he's evil. He's willing to do things like poison people. Now, he knows he could bring them back. He knows he's not going to kill them, or he could. But the power is absolutely in his hands. Hashtag forever DM. All right. Now let's tack on our oath of heroism here. Or in this case, our oath of being an anti-hero. Now, we are chaotic evil. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're extorting or blackmailing good people. In fact, it's the bad people that often have the juiciest secrets, and perhaps wealthy benefactors who don't want to do the job themselves, but plenty of coin to hire other people. Scry is not... I don't think it can, because I don't think that's inflicted on the person here. Well, it says to end one spell on yourself or on one willing creature. I don't think scry... I don't think scry is like... It's targeted, but it doesn't... It's not a spell that's on you. I'll check real quick, though. Hey, that's not a bad idea to bring up, right? Range is self. And so while you observe another target, the range of the spell is self. So it's not inflicted on the person you're observing. Well, I don't know. It says the target's affected. You know what? That might be something worth looking up. There might be something in an errata. Because when it uses words like affected here, and also affected in the Paladin's, in the Cleansing Touch, that'd be worth looking up. So yeah, Chris, I'm in doubt. I cannot give you a firm answer. Should say he's a hero in his own mind. The virus is messing with my processor. Well, maybe he sees himself as a hero because he's willing to get himself dirty to get the dirt on people who are actually horrible, like even more horrible than he is. He's trying to bring down the corrupt clergy. He's trying to bring down the slumlords and all this. You know, and so he's doing it and people are enjoying the things that he does as far as the ends that they understand. They absolutely would be reviled at the means by which he's accomplishing it. And so this is what is making him an anti-hero. He's making money. He's doing it for himself. He's selfish, but other people are reaping the reward. And you know what? He might even do it from the shadow. He might not be a public heroic figure. But some god of justice, or even just his own will of being this stalker, this deliverer of news or retribution, would be enough that it would turn his conviction into magical manifestation and therefore a paladin. Because paladins don't have to be chosen by gods in 5th edition. It can come from within your heart, your own conviction, the things that you believe. You know, clerics, you have to believe in a god. Paladins, the god has to believe in you. Or at least that's how it used to be. And now, in 5th edition, it's a lot more open to interpretation. Boondock Saints, there was a firefight! Hopefully he's careful with his pet around his hand crossbow. All right, so we're going to get some oath spells. Yeah, this paladin might even have a bunch of tattoos. Just, you know, absolutely not look like the knight in shining armor, or even that, you know, this spry, you know, farmer's daughter going through doing like the upright stuff in the countryside. You know, he's the hero the city deserves, but not the one it needs, or something like that. So we get Expeditious Retreat, as well as Guiding Bolt. Guiding Bolt sends a signal because it's showing intent. And also it's presuming, you know, you're like, well, you're marked. Now, you don't see my friends, but they see you. And so you should cough up that 100 gold pieces. Enhance ability. And Enthrall. Enhance ability is going to be a big one for him, because even if he's weak at something, now I'm really smart. Now I've learned what I needed to do. Haste. Oh gosh, haste. You could put in so much work with haste. Protection from energy. Compulsion. Freedom of movement. Commune. And Conjure Volley. All right, we get our Chandivs here. And that is Peerless Athlete and Legendary Strike. You can use your Chandiv to augment your athleticism with Divine Favor. As a bonus action, you gain advantage on all strength athletics and dexterity acrobatics checks for the next 10 minutes. We can climb, we can tumble, we can do everything we need to do to get in and out. We also get Legendary Strike. You can use your Chandiv as a bonus action to guide your attacks. For 1 minute, your weapon attacks score a critical hit on a 19 or 20. You know where to hit them. And isn't that what a Blackmailer does? You know where to hit people. We are also capable of performing a mighty deed. Your actions on the battlefield can supernaturally bolster your allies and demoralize your enemies. Whenever you score a critical hit or reduce a creature to 0 hit points, you can choose one or more creatures that you can see within 30 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier. All the chosen creatures are affected by one of the following effects of your choice. Temp hit points, or must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or be frightened of you. This is so thematic to this type of criminal. Again, it writes itself, everyone. We're going into this completely no manipulation of numbers. We only have the Unearthed Arcana prompt. And look at how we're building these characters through the sheer randomness. The universe is saying this character must exist, and we're wholeheartedly accepting it. I use Guiding Bolt in conjuration with Toll the Dead on my clerics. Toll the Dead is a popular cantrip. Yes. Now, Glorious Defense. Oh, so disgusting. Glorious Defense. Your blessed glory on the battlefield can misdirect an attack. When a creature you can see hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to gain a bonus to AC equal to that attack, potentially causing it to miss you. The bonus equals your charisma modifier. If the attack misses, you can make one weapon attack against the attacker as a part of the reaction. Oof. You know, the person is like, maybe they're even faking, or it's not affecting them as badly, and you move in to relieve it. They're like, gotcha, and they go to try and shank you, and you just kind of wink, and, you know, in your charisma acts as a shield. Non-magical, stacking with your AC, by the way. And you like take their own dagger and you better clutch your throat. You seem to be bleeding from it. And Living Myth. You can now empower yourself with the legends, whether true or exaggerated, told of great deeds. This is a capstone. It's fine. It's extremely decent. It certainly reflects an epic level character. It's not broken, especially for level 20. I'd argue the Glorious Defense and Living Myth could be swapped. Maybe hit Living Myth with like a slight nerf for a level 15. Nothing big. But you're blessed with otherworldly comeliness, gaining advantage on all charisma checks. Once on each of your turns, when you make a weapon attack and miss, you can use that attack to hit instead. And if you fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to succeed instead. So we have our character. Man, this is a fearsome opponent. I would hate to get on this person's, in his little black book or whatever he keeps for targets here. Casting as a Paladin, charisma, and now we got to drop in some numbers. We have a standard array, and let's put those here. I think charisma, he's gonna max out charisma, absolutely. So 15 charisma, 14 strength, 13 dex, 12 con, or not 12 wisdom, because he has to be observant. He has to look. He has to feel. In fact, maybe even 13 wisdom and 12 dex. You know what? He has the ability to heal himself. What if, he can't be diseased? What if his constitution is actually an 8? What if something happened? You brought up Deadpool. He got his ability after he got sick. What if this character was actually very sickly and weak? And he was so angry because half-elves get 2 to dex and then 1 to 2 other stats. So it's generic half-elf chassis. We thematically made it high-elf. And so what if he was dying and he was so upset because the doctors were corrupt? Maybe they thought that he was dead, but he could still hear what they're saying. And the doctors were like, oh yeah, he's probably going to be dead in a couple hours. You want to go play golf? Or whether they're doctors or they're clergy trying to take care of him, or people who are extorting the poor. And here he is on his deathbed. His soul has almost gone on to whatever lies beyond him. And that's when this divine spark, this conviction inside of him, this fury that other people would manipulate and cause death to others. Also, why we might be, again, now we're immune to disease, and why we might use disease back as a tool to inflict on other people. And so that is why we blackmail. That is why we're evil. That's why we commit crimes and set people up to go to jail and don't feel bad at all for it. Because we almost died, or arguably maybe our character thinks we did die, but we were reborn a second later as our eyes snapped open and we said no more. Again, he is a hero. He's bringing down these bad people who are abusive, who are neglectful, though he does it in ways that are unconventional and torturous. So his own health suffers. But what does he care? I'll get back hit points. I can give myself hit points. I resist disease. I can remove poison. I don't need to sit on a ton of hit points. I think this would be a build for him here. A cross between Deadpool and the Punisher? I think that'd be fair, Chris. Now, with this, we have a 17 Charisma, a 13 Dexterity, and a 15 Strength. I think our 10 points are going to be pretty easy. I think we should put 3 of our points in Charisma. And we're going to put 5 of our points in Strength. That's 8. We have 2 points left. Let's round up our Dexterity and let's round up our Wisdom. Punish pool. And this is our character. I think this thematically works. I think he's functional. Obviously, the spells he takes are gonna take into account all of this. And you know what? Who cares if you have a low con? If you can cast Enhance ability. Again, this is almost like having a mutant power. His oath, his Paladin hood, his mutant power. I mean, well, honestly, his oath might as well be a mutant power that manifests from his body. That's kind of how Paladin magic works anyway. Many people would still be it's a gift from a god. He is a mutant. This is all from him. And his body, Enhance ability, give yourself con. And make those Constitution saving throws that you might otherwise miss. Or don't care. Because you know what your saving throws are going to do? You have Aura of Protection. What do you care that you have a low stat in con? Your Rage protects you. Your Conviction protects you. These stats are absolutely fine, especially when you can give Enhance ability on yourself. He needs a cool name, not a regular Joe Schmo name, like an anti-hero name. Yeah, hey, you know what? He's no longer a set of stats, everyone. He deserves a name now. Let's see, proficiency at level 26. Strength saving throw and athletics are 5 and 5, 2, 2, 2, and 8. Constitution saving throws -1. Intelligence is 0 down the line except investigation, which is 6. The best ideas come from the worst minds. 8 wisdom saving throw, insight, and perception. 2, 2, and 2. And 11, 11, 11 with a 5 and a 5. Our passive perception is going to be an 18. He is definitely observant without the feat. The feat would be super gross. Armor class again. We don't have those details. He's level 20. He's not in chainmail anymore. Initiative is +2. We're not moving at Paladin speed. Hit points, we get 10 at our first level. Then our remaining 19 levels, we get 6, half +1. Then for all 20 of our levels, we get bonus hit points equal to our Constitution modifier. Wah, wah, wah. So this is actually going to be a -20. This is also why we want a high AC, because it's balanced by having low hit points. We have to be harder to hit. And so really, whoop, come on now. This turns into -10. This is 114. -10. We have 104 hit points. Our bard has 103. One of them. The other bard has 143. He has 104 hit points. Wraps himself up in a steel can. Protects himself. So anything strength or throne based is at plus 11. Anything dex based is still a pretty good plus 7. If we're attacking with our magic, that's plus 11 because we are inflicting people like disease was inflicted and ignored on us. You forgot the most important feature. He can break all the walls in C and 12D. Extra mutant powers based on his fury. I mean, he's a Red Lantern. Well, he's not rage. He's methodical. Spell slots 4, 3, 3, 3, and 2. And now we can come down here. 19 to resist with a plus 11 to hit. Lay on hands. He gets 100 of those. Paladin spells prepared equals 15. Half our Paladin level, so 10, plus our Charisma modifier, which is 5. So in addition to our Oath spells, we can prepare 15 other Paladin spells. This is an awesome character, you all. He does need a superhero name for sure. But this is amazing. You all you're so creative. You have awesome thoughts, and I'm so fortunate to be able to create characters with you all like this. These are uncommon characters that come from common sources. Player's Handbook, basic stuff. Everything is Player's Handbook with the exception of the Unearthed Arcana. Everything else, though, we brewed in our own minds. It was all organic. Everything makes sense. It connects. We have a 3-dimensional or a 12-dimensional character. We can make decisions because we can get in his mindset. We understand chaotic evil isn't lol, stab, stab, set the orphanage on fire, kick a puppy. I'm evil. I'm a bad guy. I'm chaotic evil. No, not at all. He does evil things. He still does, though they're against other evil people. He doesn't seek others. So he is a consummate anti-hero, heroic paladin. You say that, Kate. You say that, but I don't think that's the case. A name you know of but never want to be associated with? Claude. Yeah, I mean, so if you want to do something like, you know, first, superhero, last. Something like that is fine. You know, stuff like disease is his modus operandi. You know, you could go for something medical sounding for his name. You know, maybe he calls himself the, you know, the Black Plague. I mean, of course, that's like a reference to real life stuff. You know, to the, something else. You know, when he drops down and you get that, "Who are you?" And he's holding him as he's like putting a diseased finger in the person's mouth. There's so much here. His name is the Involuntary Heart Surgeon. Oh, jeez. Nightshade? Hey, you know, the line between medicine and poison is very thin. You know, so something like a Venom or a Caduceus. Caduceus could be a good one. Nightshade, because nightshades are beautiful flowers. They can also be poison. So poisons and disease could be something that he employs. Foxglove. And also, hello, Phoenix. Welcome. I saw that there's a god of poison in D&D named Zahir. In trivia, Zahir means poison in Turkish. Oh, all right. Well then. Ooh. So then, Kate, what's the name for disease or sickness or something like that in Turkish? Yes, Phoenix. You know, something like this, too. As someone who's supposed to be dead, and someone who listens to other secrets and whispers it, you know, this could almost be something like Ghost Whisper, or, I don't know, something like that. Malady? That's the code. Like, you hire him to get the scoop on someone, you meet in a dark alley, and the signal is you gotta tip your hat. Malady. Well, but well, if it's not an illness name, like, what's the name for sick, or you know, or just the name for illness in that language, like the overall concept, not something specific. Hosta. His name is Rihez Atsah, also known as Malady. Rihez Atsah. My name is Rihez Atsah, but you know me as Malady. I'm glad you like the character. He's something else. If you all play a paladin like this, I hope you have fun. I think you honestly can. Nothing says we can't have a chaotic evil paladin.